Hi, I'm David Jacobs. I'm a mobility coach specializing with seniors, and I want to teach you some morning exercises that you can do right from the time you wake up. Some of these are right in your bed, seated and standing. Don't need any equipment. Please follow along. You can practice these daily. They're going to help get your body ready for movement so you can move safely and will avoid some of those silly falls, bumping into things, muscle pulls and aches, and hopefully just get your body ready to have a great day. Good morning. I just woke up. I'm gonna go through all these exercises in a row so you can see it sequenced. Very first thing is start moving my ankles nice and slow. I'm gonna just do a few reps of each of these. You can choose 1, 2, all the way up to 10 repetitions. You can do these at the same time. Start off in a slow, small range and work your way up to a bigger range of motion, all the way to your full range of motion. I'll do knee slides here. Keep the foot on the ground. Tighten up the knee. Bend the knee. Do these ones one at a time. Body can stabilize. Just trying to get motion into your joints in the morning so when you start walking around, you have some things a little more awake in your sensory awareness of movement, which is called kinesthetic awareness, and a little more lubrication so you don't get muscle pulls and feel a little less achy in the morning. I'm just gonna go slow. Never hold your breath. I'm trying to move my spine away from my hips. You can have a couple different positions to do that from. I'm not gonna show the other side, but I would lie on the other side. I'm gonna get up real nice and slow. Get organized, take nice posture here. Take an inventory of your room so you're not, when you get up, you're not tripping against anything or bumping into anything. I'm gonna take 3 deep breaths. Eyes are still open, looking around. Okay, shoulder movements up, back, and around. Really try and keep it at the scapula with good posture, not holding your breath. Okay, ready to get up. My feet have not hit the ground in 6 or 7 hours, so I'm just gonna take it slow here. Get over to the countertop or a dresser, a few feet away from the countertop. Foot is facing forward. Take a small step forward and get a calf stretch. I'm pushing my heel into the ground, leaning forward just a few times here, nice and slow. Switch legs. It's a really nice position on the countertop if you have any wrist or hand issues or shoulder issues. If you don't have those types of issues, you're welcome to push against the wall and put a little more force through your leg. That's fine. And then I put both feet together and we're trying to do a calf raise, lifting your heels off the ground nice and slow. And we're trying to really get a good bend through all the toe joints here. Put the ball of the foot, the big toe side, with the most amount of pressure into the ground and lift yourself up. My knees aren't bent. I'm not back here with my hip. I want to keep my body up nice and tall and kind of leaning towards the wall as I go up. Okay, now the feet are ready. Get a little bit of space. And the last thing to tie it all together is 3 dimensions with your hips. You're gonna push your butt backwards, just like you're spitting toothpaste out in the sink, and then come up. Don't throw your head back here. Look up where the ceiling meets the wall. Take a nice breath in here. Exhale. Come down. Eyes are open, really alert. And we're integrating all the body parts here, getting ourselves ready for our 3-dimensional environment. So we don't have muscle aches, muscle pulls, or we're trying to also increase our, again, kinesthetic awareness so we have good balance and know where we're moving today. Final one is twisting. If you feel unstable in this one, you can be near a chair or a wall. If you don't have it, and you can look straight ahead when you twist, something that looks a little more like this. If you don't have those balance problems and you want to increase your balance and get better at it, then go ahead and turn your eyes and head and look behind you and look behind you, and just do that a few reps. That's it. These are all morning exercises that could be done daily and will really help you get functionally ready for having a safe and effective day. So the first exercise you want to do upon waking up is get your joints to move. So I'm going to start with my feet and ankles and lift my toes up, pushing my heel down, and then I'm going to point my toes and ankle down. Just go slow. A lot of people might cramp up, and you don't want to cramp your muscles, so you're paying attention, and you're going to lift your toes and ankles up. I'm pushing my heel bone away from my body, and then I'm going to take my ankles down. Just go nice and slow. You can do this 1 foot at a time if you want to give it more attention, and just go slow. Ankles and toes. You might have just heard that on the camera, a little pop in my ankle. Those are adjustments to the joints that haven't been moving during my sleep time, and getting those joints moving is the whole purpose of this morning routine. So when my foot hits the ground, I have some more movement helping me balance and not feel as stiff. So just go slow. This will really help when the first thing hits the ground when you get up, having your ankles and feet just a little looser and getting some blood flow into the muscles down there. This is better to do it one at a time, and I like stabilizing against the bed a little bit here, so I'm pushing my hands down. I'm going to bend my knee all the way as far as I can bend it without pain. If you notice, my foot's not off the bed right now. I'm just sliding it real nice and slow, and at the end, I'm tying in that first exercise of pushing my heel away, and that helps me tighten up my knee. And so I'm contracting the quadricep muscles and keeping the knee tight, and then I'm going to bend the knee joint and bring it all the way up to here, as close as I can to my hips. And I'll do that a few times. Don't do these both at the same time. That can put a little more stress on your low back. So one leg down, the other leg moves slowly, bend the knee joint, and then extend it. Our joints need synovial fluid to keep them lubricated and moving nicely so they don't feel achy and stiff. And the only way synovial fluid gets excreted in the joint is by actively moving it. So if you wake up in the morning and you're stiff or you don't feel very mobile, these are the exercises that can really help eliminate that feeling and get you ready for your day. And then I'm going to straighten it out and tighten up my knee as much as I can. And this one, if you can see, I'm adding in even the first exercise, pushing my heel away. That really helps me tighten my knee. And then I'm going to bend it back up and get to here. Then you can switch, so you can see this leg is now pushing against the bed, and the other knee can slide and then come down. Okay. Third exercise is having both knees up like this, and I'm just going to go really slow, stabilizing a little bit from my head against the pillow and my arms against the bed. And I'm just going to let my knees slowly drop side to side. There's a lot of core musculature that's moving, and we don't want to hold our breath. We want our stomach to expand and inhale, and then exhale. Another nice thing to do is maybe put your hands and head, everything pushing down against the bed to be nice and stable, and just go really slow. None of these exercises should hurt. You might feel a little stiff on your first couple reps, but as you do these, the body gets a little bit more warmed up and getting you ready for your day. So now that you're seated up, we have a little bit more ability to move our shoulders, and this is a great time to just do that. So we're just gonna up, back, and down. A lot of us will be very stiff or sore in the morning when we wake up in our shoulders. We've been lying on them for a few hours, or sometimes 6, 7, 8 hours of them not moving. And getting your scapulas to roll like this, and you can go both directions, is really important. There's 17 muscles that attach to each scapula, so we're doing 34 muscles of waking them up, getting some blood flow in there, and having some more mobility in our upper body. You can do it one-sided at a time, and I'm going forward, up, back, and around. And hopefully you can notice I'm not really bending my elbow or moving my arm a lot with this exercise, just trying to move my shoulder blades. And I'm doing this from a nice upright posture position. You don't want to do this and move your shoulders. Try and sit up really nice and tall. And then the last thing I want to say is don't hold your breath. Make sure you're breathing on all these exercises. Okay, now my upper body's a little more ready to go. So now we're getting ready to take our first steps, and the body's been lying down for 7 hours or so, so it really is not ready to be on our feet. So we're gonna get up and just slowly get closer to a countertop. You can use the wall, but I think this is a little bit nicer. If you have a dresser or a kitchen countertop, that'd be great to use. And we want to do something to warm up our feet relative to the ground. So I know we already did some ankle pumps, but that was not weight bearing, and it didn't have that all important body moving over the foot, which is what you need to just walk safely. So I'm gonna start with my feet a few feet behind the countertop and take a nice step forward and slowly move. I'm gonna let you see my ankle a little better. I'll pull my pajamas up and just go real nice and slow like this. You're trying to keep your heel on the ground and your foot nice and straight. A lot of you are gonna turn out like this, or your heel is gonna come up. And I really like you to keep your heels down at a distance that you can keep the heel bone on the ground and take a step forward real slow. I'm gonna just really slowly move my hip forward a few times. Then I'm gonna switch my feet. The whole point of this exercise is to functionally get your hip passing the foot just like you would when we need it to when we're walking. And then when I'm done with that, I'm gonna keep my hips forward a little bit and go up on both feet like this. The calf raise. I'm not going up to the toe on top of the toe. If you can see, I'm bending through the toe joints here and warming up all 10 of those joints and moving. You might hear some noises. A lot of pops and clicks happen in the morning, and that's great. Those are joints that are moving that are going to help you with your walking and your balance today, and get those lubricated and in motion before we start walking around the house, and have you much more prepared for being safe and having good balance and feeling your feet when you're walking. And then you could repeat that again. It's just a nice stretch forward. Okay. Now that we've gone through individual joints like ankles, knees, hips, spine, and shoulders, we're going to try and put all that together a little bit in a more functional way. So we're going to try and move our hips in 3 dimensions here that really integrates your head moving, maybe some reaches with your arms, that kind of ties everything together to really get you ready. So our body's 3-dimensional, and we live in this 3-dimensional house or space. So there's a length, a width, and a height to the room that you're in. So I want to get you ready for maybe if you have to pick something up or put the water bowl down for the dog or reach for something in your cupboard. So this is just a nice way to do that. We're going to start by moving your hip bone and push it backwards. You might even do this just to spit toothpaste out in the sink. You bring your head down towards the sink, and then you come back up. And you just push your hips forward. I'm squeezing my butt a little bit, and I'll turn sideways so you can really see where the hip goes. The hip goes backwards like this, and then you stand up tall. I don't want to see you throw your head backward like that. maybe look up where the ceiling meets the wall out in front of you, and we'll do that a few repetitions. Hip moving backwards, hip moving forwards. That's one dimension that you'll use a lot in the morning. Again, reaching for your socks, tying your shoes, spitting your toothpaste out, maybe reaching up in the cupboard for a cereal bowl. So that's just a really important warm up for you. Next is going to go side to side. So just do this really slow. A lot of seniors will feel, some pinching or tightness in their low back. So I don't want to see you do this fast or in big ranges of motion. And just slow. We're just transferring weight to the left leg and transferring weight to the right leg. And you can see my hip is outside of my center. Both feet stay on the floor and moving side to side. For those of you that there's no problems here, your back doesn't hurt and you feel okay, you can add your arm reaches into this. One arm coming down, one arm coming up, and start maybe exposing a little more side stretch into you like this. Maybe even taking your head down a little bit to the side. And we use these motions all day. If you're looking for something in the refrigerator and where did I leave the grapes, you might kind of look to the side of the milk, and you might have to move your head a little off to the side like that. And that's just a nice example of how we need this plane of motion in our life, side to side reaches. You might want to pull up your sock or pick up a bag. These are things that are off to the side of you. Okay? And the third and final dimension of this exercise is twisting. We're going to try and use your hips right in the middle of your body, and you're going to try and turn. Now this one has a lot going on. My eyes and my ears are also turning, so we're working on your vestibular system and your eyes and trying to improve your balance so we don't feel wobbly and fall. We're just going to turn a few times. And functionally, this is when you go to reach for that, the spoon that you left on the counter here, or husband or wife is behind you and you're like, hey, what time do we have to go to the movie? And you're turning your body like that. So also, hopefully you can see, is it's very integrated. Yes, I told you to move your hips here, but if you look down, my arches of my feet are turning. One is going up and one is going down. So first time we're really introducing a rotational movement down into the feet, knees, hips, spine. We're really integrating all the things that we've tried to warm up already all into one movement that helps our balance and our functional strength. One last way to do that is looking straight ahead and turning. So if you can see, that also helps kind of get some motion into my neck. If the head stays still and the body twists, there's some nice relative movement in the upper spine. So those are 3 dimensions of the hip. I'll demonstrate it one last time. We got backwards and forwards, side to side, and I like showing that from this front view, and twisting. And that would complete your morning stretches to get you really ready to have a great day.